Now let us understand the detailed concept of a rhombus. Already we have saw some key points in rhombus, but we haven't solved problems any time before in rhombus. Today in our session we will understand the same key points once again, and we will solve some very important questions in rhombus which was asked in the previous year examination questions. Now see here, sir. First of all, let me write a rhombus and let us draw some conclusions out of this rhombus, whatever I am writing here. First point is extremely important point. Okay, first let me write it. What we are discussing here is rhombus. Rhombus is a quadrilateral, right? It's a quadrilateral. What is the meaning of quadrilateral? Quadrilateral means there are four sides in this geometrical figure. Beautiful. Rhombus is a parallelogram. It is also a parallelogram. Sir, we already discussed parallelogram, right? So rhombus is also a parallelogram, is it? Yes. Rhombus is a parallelogram with all the sides equal, right? With all the sides equal. Very important point. Rhombus is a parallelogram with all the sides equal. If I call the length of AB as L, BC also will be L, CD also will be L, AD also will be L. Let us keep seeing some other key points and understand it in a much more easiest way possible. So perimeter of rhombus. Perimeter of rhombus is L plus L plus L plus L, which is nothing but 4L, right? Which is nothing but 4L. Now listen to this carefully, sir. There are two diagonals for this rhombus. One of the diagonal is BD, which I will call it as D1, and another diagonal is AC, which I will call it as D2. One of the diagonal is BD, another diagonal is AC, right? Which I will call it as D1 and D2. Now, these two diagonals, again a very important point, diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other, right? Diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other. That is one important key point that you need to know. And another thing with respect to diagonals, what you need to know is diagonals of rhombus are always perpendicular to each other. This is a very important key point, because based on this key point only we will solve some questions in the most easiest way possible. That means these two diagonals, they will be perpendicular. They will be perpendicular to each other. That is an extremely important key point that you need to know. Diagonals of rhombus are perpendicular to each other, and because this being 90 degrees, then I can apply Pythagorean triplets, which is nothing but 90-degree Pythagoras theorem, which I want, right angle Pythagoras theorem I can apply. That we will see as the class proceeds. Similarly, diagonals of rhombus are not equal. Diagonals of rhombus are not equal. What if they become equal? If they become equal, this particular rhombus, which is having all the four sides as same, if the diagonals also become equal, then that particular quadrilateral will become a square. That is the main difference between a quadrilateral called as rhombus and a quadrilateral called as square. In square, the diagonals, both the diagonals will be same, and in rhombus the diagonals will not be same, or they will not be equal. Now we already have learnt the perimeter of the rhombus. Now what is the area of this rhombus? I have already taught you the area of this rhombus, and I have proved it also as half into D1 into D2. That means D1 and D2 represents two diagonals of this rhombus. Diagonals of rhombus product of diagonals divided by 2 is nothing but the area of the rhombus. Now I can also say, suppose for example, if I drop a perpendicular like this, if I drop a perpendicular and call this as height, for example, if I call it as height, so area of this is also nothing but base into height, right? Area of this is not also nothing but base into height, wherein in this particular diagram base is nothing but L, height is nothing but H. So area is also nothing but of rhombus, area of rhombus is also nothing but equal to L into H. Area of rhombus can also be represented as, I told you very clearly, suppose if this is particular angle theta, opposite to angle theta, the side is BC, forget about that side, take the other two sides. So this is AD and DC. So it is AD into DC, or in other words it is L into L square into sine of angle between them, sine theta. So this also will represent area of the rhombus. There are different ways of representing. One of the thing is half into D1 into D2. Other thing is L square into sine theta. And the another thing is it is L into H, where H is the height of the rhombus, right? Height or the perpendicular drawn to the base, or whatever you can call it like this as height. Now, other thing what you need to know about the properties, some basic properties about rhombus is, now see here sir, now listen to this carefully. Can I say that this particular angle, suppose if it is X, this particular angle also will be X. That means very important point says that opposite angles of a rhombus are always equal. Opposite angles of a rhombus are equal. Similarly, I can say that for this particular angle X, adjacent angle is this angle Y, and adjacent angle of this particular X, this will be the adjacent angle, this will be also Y, because just now I told that opposite angles will be equal in a rhombus. That means this is X, adjacent of X is Y. That means, can I say that I will cut this part, I will cut this particular angle and I will paste it here, right? I will paste it here, just like that I will paste it. This entire angle is nothing but 180 degrees, because it is an angle in straight line. X is nothing but one of the angle, Y is nothing but an adjacent angle. In simple language I can say that adjacent angles of a rhombus, are always supplementary. Supplementary is nothing but sum of the angles should be 180 degrees. Adjacent angles of a rhombus are always supplementary. That means in the given diagram, angle X plus angle Y is nothing but equal to 180 degrees. That is what they are mentioning there. I hope it is clear. Now, sir, you did not tell much about the diagonals of the rhombus. That is also very easy, sir. If I call each and every side as L, so this is nothing but a diagonal. Let me call this as diagonal D1 and let me call this as diagonal D2. Now, the diagonals will bisect each other. The meaning of that is this entire D1, it is split into two parts as D1 by 2 and D1 by 2. Entire D2 is split as D2 by 2 and D2 by 2. And we know that this will be 90 degrees, right? This will be 90 degrees. Now, this L, Pythagoras theorem says L square is equal to D1 by 2 whole square plus D2 by 2 whole square. This is according to the Pythagoras theorem. If I apply the Pythagoras theorem for this shaded triangle, right? Hypotenuse is L. So it is L square is equal to D1 by 2 whole square plus D2 by 2 whole square. So L is nothing but square root of D1 by 2 whole square plus D2 by 2 whole square. Or in simple language, can I say like this, sir? In simple language, I can say that this is 90. This also will be 90. That means in simple language, if I know two sides of a right angle triangle, then finding the hypotenuse is never a difficulty, because right angle triangle follow Pythagorean triplets. And if we know some of the basic Pythagorean triplets, so many questions which had come in the examinations always revolve around those basic Pythagorean triplets or the Pythagorean triplets which is derived from that basic Pythagorean triplets. How to find the Pythagorean triplets, that I will teach you in the next 1 or 2 minutes of my class. But before that, let us move on to our next understanding in rhombus. That is nothing but what is an equilateral rhombus. We know the meaning of an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle means all the three sides will be equal, all the three angles will be equal to 60 degrees. This is something called as equilateral rhombus. Okay, let me draw the diagram and explain you so that your understanding will be better. Now, let me draw it little neatly, sir. Let me draw it little neatly so that we will understand it better. Now, this is suppose a rhombus, right? This is a rhombus. Now, what I will do is, I will split this. I will draw a diagonal. Let me call this rhombus as ABCD, for example. This is my diagonal. Equilateral rhombus is nothing but these opposite two sides will be 62 angles will be 60 degrees each. Opposite two angles will be 60. 60 plus 60, 120 is over. Out of 360 total, which is the sum of all the angles in a quadrilateral, 120 is over. Remaining should be 240. That means 240 should be divided equally. So this entire angle should be 120 degrees. This entire angle should be 120 degrees. Or in simple language, that 120 also I will further split it. I will further split that 120 as 60 and 60. This 120 also is split as 60 and 60. That means if the length, if all the sides of a rhombus is L. Now can I say that, think logically, opposite to this 60 degrees, side is L. Opposite to this 60 degrees also, the side is L. That means opposite to this 60 degrees also, the side should be L. That means equilateral rhombus is nothing but a rhombus where the diagonal, one of the diagonal is L. Where one of the diagonal is L. That means AC value is L. That means in simple language, AB, BC, CD, DA, all the sides I will represent it as small letter L. Then AC will also be equal to L. This I will call it as my first diagonal. Sir, then what is the value of the second diagonal? Is it something different? Let us understand it. I can write it and show it in that diagram itself, but you will get confused, so I am writing the diagram one more time. Now, this is my second diagonal which I did not draw it. Now, can I say that this is 120 degrees totally. This also will be 120 degrees, right? This also will be 120 degrees. Now, similar to that explanation, I can say that if I use the similar explanation, this will become L root 3. You can prove it also, but as of now not required. That means the other diagonal BD will be equal to L root 3, which is nothing but my second diagonal. That means very important key point in equilateral rhombus. In an equilateral rhombus, first of all, rhombus is nothing but all the sides are equal. If all the sides are equal, then the opposite angles also will be equal in rhombus. The two angles which are opposite to each other are 60 each, and another two angles which are opposite to each other in equilateral rhombus will be 120 each, and one of the diagonal will be L units and the other diagonal in an equilateral rhombus will be L root 3 units. I hope this should make it very clear for you people, and let us understand right now. In this case, I told you that because it is a right angled triangle, you should know Pythagorean triplet so that you can directly apply it rather than using Pythagoras theorem every time and solving it. Now let us understand how to find Pythagorean triplets. Now listen to this very carefully, sir. How to derive Pythagorean triplets I will teach you. Once you know how to derive Pythagorean triplets, you can derive any number of Pythagorean triplets. First thing that you need to know is Pythagoras theorem is applied only for a right angled triangle. If I take my right angled triangle ABC, Pythagoras theorem says that hypotenuse square, which is nothing but AC square, is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides. Other two sides are AB and BC. Sum of the squares of other two sides is nothing but hypotenuse square. Now, there are various Pythagorean triplets, but you might know some of the Pythagorean triplets, but I want you not to by heart it. I want you to know how to derive it. Now see here, sir. Suppose I will take, there are three sides totally. What I will do is, I will take one of the side as an odd number, which is not equal to hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the longest side, which you are aware of. I will take one of the side as an odd number, which is not equal to hypotenuse. Suppose, for example, I will take one of the side as 3, right? One of the side of the Pythagorean triplet is 3. Now, if the side is an odd number, very, very easy logic. Take that number 3, square it. 3 square becomes 9, right? 3 square becomes 9. Whatever the value you got when you squared it, divide it by 2. 9 by 2 is 4.5. When you get that 4.5, subtract 0.5 from this 4.5. 4.5 minus 0.5 is 4. Add 0.5 to that 4.5. 4.5 plus 0.5 is 5. That means the three values which form a Pythagorean triplet are this particular value 3, and this value 4, and this value 5. Why will it form a Pythagorean triplet? Because hypotenuse square, 5 square is nothing but equal to 3 square plus 4 square. Because these three values are satisfying the Pythagoras theorem for a right angle triangle, 3, 4, 5 will form a Pythagorean triplet. One more case I will take where the side is an odd number. Let me explain you with another number or another example where the side is an odd number. Suppose, for example, let me take the side 7. 7 square 49. 49 divided by 2 is nothing but it is 24.5. Subtract 0.5. When I subtract 0.5 from 24.5, I'll get 24. Add 0.5. 24.5 plus 0.5 is 25. 7, 24, 25. It will form a Pythagorean triplet. Now, this is case 1. Case 2. You might get a doubt. Sir, what if the side is not an odd number? What if the side is an even number? Very, very easy, sir. You take a number which is an even number. For example, let me take it as 4. Square this. 4 square is 16. Divide by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Subtract 1 from this. 4 minus 1 is 3. Add 1 from this. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4, 3, 5. 3, 4, 5 will form a Pythagorean triplet. We already have discussed this. Can you take one more example where the side is an even number? Definitely. Example number 2. Suppose I have one of the number in the Pythagorean triplet as 8. 8 square divided by 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16. Subtract 1, it becomes 15. Add 1, it becomes 17. That means 8, 15, 17. Form a Pythagorean triplet. That means any number can either be an even number or it can be an odd number. If it is odd number, square it and divide by 2, subtract 0.5, add 0.5. If it is even number, square it and divide by 4, subtract from 1, add 1. So that you will get Pythagorean triplets. Do you need to by heart any Pythagorean triplets, sir? I definitely think that you don't need to by heart any Pythagorean triplet, but you can derive it as many Pythagorean triplets as many you want. Suppose, for example, I already told you that 3, 4, 5 is a basic Pythagorean triplet. I will multiply all these values by 2. This becomes 3 into 2, 4 into 2, 5 into 2, 6, 8, 10 is nothing but a derived Pythagorean triplet, which is derived from a basic Pythagorean triplet called as 3, 4, 5. Like that, there are so many Pythagorean triplets. 3, 4, 5 is 1, 6, 8, 10 is other, 9, 12, 15. Instead of multiplying all these three values by 2, I multiplied every of these values by 3. You got another. Multiply all by 10. 30, 40, 50, it is another. 7, 24, 25, I proved it, right? I proved it. 7, 24, 25 is a Pythagorean triplet. Another is 8, 15, 17. Just now I proved this also, sir. 8, 15, 17, I proved it. 7, 24, 25. Like that, you can derive as many Pythagorean triplets as many as you want. There is no restrictions on how many Pythagorean triplets you need to know. You can know or you can remember as many as possible, but instead of remembering all the Pythagorean triplets is slightly a difficult task. So what we can do is, we can definitely instead of remembering, we can definitely derive it whenever it is required, and thereby there is no actual need for us to remember so many Pythagorean triplets. Rather, we can derive it when required. I hope knowing or deriving Pythagorean triplets when the side is an odd number, or the second case is when the side is an even number, is very, very clear for you people. Now let us move on to solving some questions in this beautiful concept called as rhombus. Now see here, sir. First question says, the ratio of angles A and B of a non-square rhombus ABCD is 4:5. Why did they mention it as non-square? Non-square is nothing but the diagonals are different. The diagonals are not equal. That is the meaning of non-square rhombus. The ratio of angles A and B of a non-square rhombus ABCD is 4:5. Find the value of angle C. Now see here, sir. Let us first write the rhombus. Let us name it as per the given question as ABCD. Now they are saying that angle A and angle B ratio is given as 4:5, or instead of taking 4:5, I will take it as 4x and 5x. They are asking you to find the value of angle C. We know that angle A and angle C both are same for rhombus because opposite angles in rhombus are equal. That means if I know the value of angle A, I got my answer. That means we also know that adjacent angles in a rhombus are supplementary. That means 4x and 5x, the sum is nothing but 180. 9x is equal to 180 degrees. X value will be 180 by 9, which is 20 degrees. I got the value of x, but I want 4x. It is 4 into 20, which is nothing but 80 degrees. Option C should be the answer. Sir, why should you use all these variable method? Variables, why are you writing and wasting your time when it is not actually required? Yes, method 2 is also quite similar to method 1, but I am avoiding using variables, which you will understand the difference between method 2 and method 1 when you solve some difficult questions. Now see here, sir, there is a rhombus ABCD. It is said in the question that angle A and angle B are in the ratio 4:5. So what I will do is, angle A, instead of taking it as 4x, I will assume it as 4 degrees. Angle B, instead of taking it as 5x, I will assume it as 5 degrees. But we know the fact that according to the ratio, angle A plus angle B is, it is 4 plus 5, 9 degrees. According to ratio, it is 9 degrees. According to question, we know that two angles which are adjacent to each other in a rhombus, the sum is not 9. Actually, it should be 180. 9 into which number is 180? 9 into 20 is 180. So 4 also multiply by 20. 4 into 20 is 80. If angle A is 80, angle C also should be 80, because opposite angles in a rhombus are always equal. Angle A and angle C both are equal. Answer for this question is 80. Sir, method 1, method 2, okay sir. But Is there anything which you can teach? Because this is an original examination question. Answer options are also exactly that way only it was given in the examination. Can you tell a better shortcut method? Definitely. This is where you should be making use of answer options and solve this question within 1 second. Can I say that angle A is 4 degree, angle B is 5 degree according to the ratio? According to question, angle C is how much? We know that A and C both are same. That means angle C is also 4 degrees. According to ratio, angle C is 4. According to question, how much they are asking? That means answer should be a multiple of 4. 50 is not a multiple of 4, 45 is not a multiple of 4, 95 is not a multiple of 4. There is only one option which is a multiple of 4. How beautifully you can solve by using method 3, sir. This is where your actual skill set will come into picture and you will save tremendous amount of time in solving by using method 3, where you can actually take only 1 or 2 seconds to mark that answer options. And I believe that this method will actually make you to solve the question in the most easiest way possible. Sir, method 2, is it not good? Yes, method 2 is good, but for me from answer option, method 3 is the best method, and I want my student to implement method 3 in this given answer options. If there are more than one options which is a multiple of 4, please switch on to method 2, but please eliminate method 1 which is a variable method. I hope I am making sense for you people. Second question. If PQRS is a rhombus, okay, let me draw it then and there itself so that we will not confuse ourselves. If PQRS is a rhombus and angle SPQ, angle SPQ is nothing but given as 50 degrees. If this angle P is 50, angle R also will definitely be 50 without any hesitation. Then find the value of angle RSQ. That means I should join this diagonal. RSQ, this particular angle is what I need to find. Now think little logically, sir. You will get the answer if you think little logically. Now can I say that this particular diagonal will bisect this bigger angle S into 2 equal parts, and I also know that angle P plus angle S is nothing but 180 degrees because they both are adjacent to each other. Angle P is 50, that means entire angle, bigger angle S is 130 degrees. If this is 130 and diagonal QS will divide that 130 into 2 equal parts, this smaller angle will be 65 degrees, and that is what is asked in the question. Answer is option B. Please look into this question, SSC CGL Tier 1 question in the year 2015. This kind of easy questions will be there. You should just identify it and then keep solving it, sir. Question number 3. Let us read the question and then solve it in the most easiest way possible. ABCD is a rhombus. Without reading the next statement, I will draw the diagram immediately and then I will name it as ABCD. Then let me read the next statement. Whose side AB is equal to 4 centimeter. Now, beautifully we know that if AB is 4, AD also will be 4, CD also will be 4, BC also will be 4, because all the sides in a rhombus will be equal, and angle ABC is 120. Angle ABC, this entire bigger angle is 120 degrees. Now, I told you very clearly when I discussed equilateral rhombus. When I discussed equilateral rhombus concept, I told you very clearly that if one of the angle is 120, opposite angle also will become 120 and the other two angles will be 60-60 each, and such kind of rhombus is called as equilateral rhombus. What they are asking you in the question is find the length of the diagonal BD. This particular length BD is what they are asking. And I also told you one more key point, that one of the diagonal, in this case BD, is nothing but equal to same length of the side of that rhombus. It is 4. So answer is 4 centimeter for this question. It is just a 2 seconds question or a 3 second question if you know the meaning of equilateral rhombus, which I have already discussed. I hope it is very clear for you people. Please see the next question. If ABCD be a rhombus, that means I have a rhombus. I will name that rhombus as ABCD, right? I will name that rhombus as ABCD. AC is its smallest diagonal. That means smallest diagonal is nothing but this particular diagonal. So AC is its smallest diagonal. If I take BD is the longest diagonal, L root 3. AC is the smallest diagonal, L. I hope you are understanding. Now, it is given in the question that angle ABC 60. If this angle ABC is 60, then angle ADC also will be 60. If these two are 60, then the other two angles will be 120 each. And if the other two angles are 120 each, this question also will become an equilateral rhombus question. And your question says, find the length of a side of a rhombus when AC is 6. Smallest diagonal if it is 6. The length of the rhombus also will be 6 only, right sir? Why it is 6? Because I have already discussed in my concept of equilateral rhombus saying that if the side is L, then the length of the smallest diagonal also will be L. Longest diagonal will be L root 3. But question says smallest as 6. So length also will be 6 itself. Answer for this question is 6 centimeter, option A. Question number 5. The area of a rhombus is 150 square centimeter. Area is 150 square centimeter, and we also know that area is D1 into D2 by 2. I have proved it, sir. Without proving, I will not solve it. I did not prove it today, but I have proved it in my starting stages of my mensuration class. Read the next statement. The length of one of its diagonal is 10 centimeter. One of the diagonal is 10. Okay. 10 by 2 into D2 is equal to 150. The length of one of its diagonal is 10 centimeter. Same statement is repeated one more time, which is a mistake. Find the length of the other diagonal. D2 value I need to find. 2 into 1, 2 into 5. 5 into 1, 5 into 30. D2 value is 30. Option B. Where is the difficulty in this question? See here. See the next question, sir. Similar kind of question we will solve it, but let us solve it with perimeter case in this case. The perimeter of a rhombus is 100 centimeter. First, let me write the diagram for you, so that you will understand it better. I will name this as ABCD. Now, question says perimeter of a rhombus is 100 centimeter. Okay, this is one of the diagonal. This is another diagonal. Why are you drawing the diagonal, sir? If one of its diagonal is 14, that means one of the diagonal value is given as 14. Find the area of the rhombus. Now, common sense should say us that area of rhombus is half D1 D2. One of the diagonal value is given. If I find the value of another diagonal, my answer is over. That means AC value is given as 14. entire AC is given as 14. If AC is 14, I will call this particular point as M, and diagonals will bisect each other. So AC is 14, AM will be 7, MC also will be 7, and this is 90 because diagonals will intersect perpendicularly, so that is 90 degrees. Now can I say like this? Can I say that MC value is 7? Yes, beautiful. MC value is 7 because AC is totally 14. This MC is half of 14, which is nothing but 7. Now I want to find the value of DM. Sir, first of all, what is DC value? I told that if AC is 14, then DC also will be 14. How it is? I have proved it. I have told it in my what do you say, explanation part of rhombus. That means this value is 14, this value is 7. Sorry, this value is 14, this value is, sorry, this value is not 14, sir. 1 minute. So it is not an equilateral rhombus, right? I am sorry, sir. Question is not given as an equilateral rhombus. That is where I made a mistake here and taking it as 14. Question does not say as equilateral rhombus. If it was an equilateral rhombus, the diagonal AC is 14, DC also would have been 14. But it is not an equilateral rhombus. Nowhere it is mentioned. But question says perimeter is 100 and perimeter of rhombus is 4 times of its side. That means this side is 25, second side is 25, third side is 25, fourth side is also 25. Now this is a right angled triangle. This right angled triangle DM is nothing but calculated from the Pythagoras theorem as it is nothing but DC square minus MC square. It is 25 square minus 7 square. It is 625 minus 49. It is 576 square root. Square root of 576 is 24. But if you are little smart, if you are definitely little smart, you will say that 7, 25 and the other value is 24. These three will form a Pythagorean triplet. That is the reason I told you how to find the Pythagorean triplets before starting all these problems. If DM value is 24, MB also will be 24. My second diagonal value is 48. Area is half into first diagonal is 14, second diagonal is 48. So this is 24 times 24 into 14. It is 336 centimeter square, which is option C. Sir, did you really multiply 14 and 24 and do it in your mind so fast as 336? Definitely no. It is a smarter approach. Unit digit here is 4. Unit digit here also is 4. 4 into 4 is 16. Unit digit in the answer should be 6. There is only one option. What if there is another option? Multiply and do it. I hope every point what I utter should be very, very clear for you people, sir. Now see the next question. Very much similar to my previous question. For your better understanding, original examination question in 2013. Perimeter of a non-square rhombus is 20. If the perimeter is 20, I can easily say that every side is having 20 divided by 4 sides. It is 5 centimeter. All the sides are 5 centimeter. One of its diagonal is 8 centimeter. Okay, let me draw the diagram for your better understanding. Every side is 5 centimeter. This is 5. Each and every side is 5. Beautiful. Now, can I also say that? Okay, let me name it first of all. Let me name it as ABCD. Now, question says one of its diagonal is 8 centimeter. You take any diagonal of your choice, sir. Find the area of the rhombus. Now, area of the rhombus is D1 into D2 divided by 2. One of the diagonal is known. I don't know the value of other diagonal. Let us find it right away. Now see here. Suppose for example BD is 8. If BD is 8, so BM will be 4. MD also will be 4. This is 4 and 4. Now this is 90 degrees. This will be 90 degrees. Opposite to 90 it is 5. That is hypotenuse. Another side is 4. That means that there is a Pythagorean triplet called as 3, 4, 5. That means AM value should be 3. If AM is 3, MC is also 3. So AC will be 3 plus 3, 6. Sir, if AM is 3, how come MC is 3? The diagonals will bisect each other. That means AM and MC both are absolutely same. So AC will be 3 plus 3, 6. Area will be, one of the diagonal is 8, another diagonal is 3 plus 3, 6. Whole thing divided by 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24 square centimeter, which is option B. Option D. I hope it is clear with this question, sir. Let us solve another question of similar type, which is again asked in one another SSC exam in same 2013 year. Perimeter of a rhombus is 100. If the perimeter is 100, every side is 100 divided by 4. It is 25. All the sides are 25 centimeters each, and one of its diagonal is 40 centimeters. If this is one of the side, okay, let me draw both the diagonals. One of the diagonal is 40. That means if this is my midpoint M, so this will be 20, this also will be 20, total is 40. Its area I need to find. First of all, let me find the other diagonal value. Other diagonal means this is a Pythagorean triplet, because this will bisect at 90 degrees, right angle. Opposite to 90, hypotenuse is 25. So the values are, so it is 25, right? I hope I am making sense. So this is 25 and another side is 20. What will be the other side? The basic value of Pythagorean triplet is 3, 4, 5. 5 is becoming 25 multiplied by 5. 4 into 5 is 20. So 3 into 5 should be 15. That means Pythagorean triplets are 15, 20 and 25. If MB is 15, MD also will be 15. So BD will be 15 plus 15, 30. So it is half into, one of the diagonal is 40, other diagonal is 30. So this is 2 into 20. 20 into 30 is nothing but 600 square centimeters, which is nothing but option C. I hope this kind of methodology is very, very clear for you people, sir. Next question. Please see this next question. Your next question says the length of each side of a rhombus is equal to length of the side of a square whose diagonal is 40 root 2. That means I have a square. The diagonal of this square is 40 root 2. If the diagonal is a root 2, then the side of the square will be a. That means each side of the square is 40, 40, 40 and 40. Question says the length of each side of rhombus. This rhombus length, the length of this rhombus is absolutely equal to the length of the square. And we got to know that, we understood that the length of the square is 40. That means all these four sides of the rhombus are also 40. This point should be clear. Next, if the length of the diagonals of the rhombus are in the ratio 3:4, the length of diagonals of the rhombus are in the ratio 3:4, find its area. That means this is one of the diagonal, this is my other diagonal. They both will bisect each other and they both will be perpendicular to each other. That means question says that this length of the diagonal is 3, the entire length is 3 and the entire length of the other diagonal is 4. Now think little logically, sir, you will get the answer. Can I say that? Can I say like this? This is a very, very important thing what you need to understand here. Can I say that this is 3, this is 4, that means opposite to 90 degrees, according to ratio should be 5, right? According to ratio it should be 5. But can I say like this? Definitely I can say that if this is 5, 5 is becoming 40. 5 is becoming 40. That means multiplying factor. Let me use a different color here for your better understanding. 5 is becoming 40. Multiplying factor is 8. That means 3 also multiply by 8. This should be 24. 4 also multiply by 8. This should be 32. That means, can I say that? Can I say like this? Think little logically, you will get the answer. This particular length is 32. That means from M to C is 32. So M to A is another 32. M to D is 24. M to B is another 24. That means one of the diagonal is 24 plus 24. Another diagonal is 32 plus 32. So they are asking you area of the rhombus is half into 48 into 64. So this is 2 into 1, 2 into 32. 48 into 32, which should give me the answer. But if you observe, I will not definitely solve it, because unit digit here is 8, unit digit here is 2. Answer should end with 6. There is only one option. What if there are more than one options? Please multiply, because I have taught you some various multiplication techniques also, which will give you the answers of product in a faster method. Answer is 1536, which is nothing but option D. I hope it is very clear till this point for each and every student who is listening to this class. Pythagorean triplets play a very major role in understanding all these logics, sir. See the next question. Question number 10. The diagonals of a rhombus are 32 centimeter and 24 centimeter respectively. Let me draw it. So let me name this as A, B, C, D, right? One of the diagonal is 32 centimeter, another diagonal is 24 centimeter. They both will be perpendicular and they both will bisect each other. 32 will become 16 and 16, 24 becomes 12 and 12. Beautiful. Till here it is clear. Find the perimeter of the rhombus. Now, perimeter of the rhombus is what I am interested. That means if I find one of the side, my answer is over. Now see here, sir. This is 90 degrees. Let me take this right angle triangle DMC. If I take the right angle triangle DMC, if I take it, there is a Pythagorean triplet called as 3, 4, 5. Now, opposite to 90 degrees is 5 according to the Pythagorean triplet. But I don't know how much here. That is what I am trying to find in this question also. But if you are little smart, you will get the answer within second. Opposite to 90 degrees is DC, and according to the Pythagorean triplet it is 5. According to question, how much they are asking, 5 should be multiplied by something. Answer should be a multiple of 5. There is only one option, 80. Answer for this question is 80. Sir, what if there are more than one options which are multiples of 5? Now let me teach how to solve it. Now see here, sir. Can I say that this is 3 into 4. 3 into 4 is 12. This is this side. 4 into 4 is 16. That is nothing but this side, right? That is nothing but this side. 5 into 4 is 20. That is nothing but opposite to 90, this side. One of the side is 20. All the sides will be 20 only in a rhombus. Question says perimeter. Question says perimeter. Perimeter should be multiple of 20, or in other words, multiple of 5 is what I said earlier. Both are same only, right? Right, sir. Multiple of 20 means it should also be a multiple of 5. So 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. Answer should be 80 centimeter, which is nothing but option A. Same logic, same similar kind of question is my 11th question. Diagonals of a rhombus are 24 and 10. Let me draw the rhombus ABCD. The diagonals are 24 and 10. First thing is diagonals bisect and they are perpendicular. That means 24 becomes 12 and 12, 10 becomes 5 and 5, 5 and 5. And I also taught you, if I take this particular lower triangle, right angle triangle, 5, 12, 13. form a Pythagorean triplets. If this side is 13, all the other sides are also 13. Perimeter is what they are asking. It is 4 into 13. 13 into 4 is 52, which is nothing but option D. Once you know the values of Pythagorean triplets, the questions will be very easily solved, and that too within seconds, sir. I hope it is clear till this 11th question, whatever we have solved in rhombus. Tell me the answer for this question. In the previous question, perimeter was asked. In this question, perimeter is given. Perimeter of a rhombus is 40 centimeter. That means the beauty about this is perimeter is 40 means all the four sides are equal. That means each side is 10 centimeter each. Beautiful. This is clear for me. One of the diagonal be 12 centimeter long. That means there are two diagonals like this. They will bisect each other and they are perpendicular. One of the diagonal is 12. That means this becomes 6 and 6. Now we also know a beautiful Pythagorean triplet called as 6, 8, 10. Opposite to 90 if it is 10. Yes, opposite to 90 it is 10. One of the side is 6. The other side should be 8. If MC is 8, AM also is 8. Total AC is 8 plus 8 16. Answer for this question is 16. These are all very easy questions, sir. Understanding the concept is important. Once you understand, please see all these are examination questions. I am not taking something which is outside an examination. All these are examination questions, and I am damn sure that you will solve it very fast like a bullet. Please follow my instructions, whatever I have told in my previous problem, and tell me the answer for this question faster. Instead of giving the perimeter, in this question area is given. Now let us understand. First of all, it's a question on rhombus. Let me draw the diagram, whatever it is. Let me draw the diagram. Area of rhombus is 216 centimeter square. That means area is 216 and area is half D1 D2. This is nothing but 216. That means can I say that one of the length of its diagonal is 24. That means half of 24 into D2 is 216. So this is 12 times. So D2 will be 216 divided by 12. 216 divided by 12 is 18 centimeter. That means first diagonal is given in the question as 24. Second diagonal is given in the question as 18. Let me draw it right now. That means one of the diagonal is 24. Another diagonal is 18. They both will intersect at M, and this will be a perpendicular bisector, or they will intersect at 90 degrees, and it is a bisector. That means one of the diagonal is 24, it is 12 and 12. Another diagonal is 18, it is 9 and 9. That means if I take this right angle triangle, you can take any right angle triangle. I am always habituated to taking this bottom part so that it will be very clearly visible. Now can I say that this is 12, this is 9. We have a basic Pythagorean triplet 3 4 5. Now 3 into 3 is 9, 3 into 3 is 9. That is one of this side. 4 into 3 is 12. That is nothing but the other side, and therefore 5 into 3 should be 15. That is nothing but the length of the rhombus. So length of the rhombus is 15. This also is 15. This is 15. BC is also 15. Perimeter is 4 times of 15. Answer for this question is 60 centimeters, which is nothing but option B. Very easy once you understand it, sir. Please see question number 14. SSC CGL Tier 2 examination question in the year 2015, but it is nowhere different from my previous questions. Perimeter of a rhombus is 60 centimeter. If the perimeter is 60, every side is of 15 centimeter each, because 60 equally divided into 4 parts is 15 each. One of its diagonal is 24 centimeter. If I name this as one of the diagonal, other diagonal is AC. Diagonal will intersect at M and it will bisect each other, and they are perpendicular to each other. So angle M is 90 degrees. Now this entire diagonal BD is 24. That means DM is 12. MB is 12. Now find the area of the rhombus. Area of the rhombus is half into D1 into D2. Now half into one of the diagonal is 24. Another diagonal I don't know. That means area is 12 D2. If I know D2 value, I will know my area value. Simple. Now D2. Let us find the second diagonal value. Now can I say that if I take this bottom, if I take this bottom right angle triangle, DMC is a right angle triangle. Basic Pythagorean triplet is 3, 4, 5. Now two sides which are there, opposite to 90 degrees it is 15. Opposite to 90 here is 5. 5 should become 15. Multiply by 3. 4 into 3 is 12. That is nothing but this particular side. 3 into 3 is 9. That should be the value of MC. If MC value is 9, MA value will also be 9. Totally AC value will be 9 plus 9, 18. So area is 12 into 18. 12 into 18. 18 into 10 is 180. 18 into 2 is 36. It is 216 centimeter square, which is nothing but option B. I believe that you see any question which we have solved in the first 14 questions. Most of the questions, or I think all the 14 if I am not wrong, are examination questions. And with respect to rhombus, the questions if you get in your examination, it will be very damn easy by nature. I hope this is very clear for you people. How to find the area of a rhombus, how to find the perimeter of a rhombus, or in general we have learned the area and perimeter and the diagonals of rhombus, provided one or two parameters are given and we need to find the other parameters. I hope this is very clear for every student who had watched this video.